First question for today's session is this. What would you dare to do if you were absolutely guaranteed to succeed? What would you do if you were absolutely guaranteed to succeed? What would you dare? Oh, you wouldn't dare try me. What would you dare to do if you were guaranteed to succeed? So Mez says, I don't see people come into the chat sometimes. This app, F. I would dare to create Spork USA. If I knew I couldn't fail, I would create Spork. All right. Tim says, if I was guaranteed to succeed, I would go be a pharmacist. I would go be a pharmacist. Get out there and get you some birds on the block. If I knew I couldn't, Tim's like, if I couldn't fail, it'd be like, Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We're talking about what we would dare to do if we were guaranteed, absolutely guaranteed to succeed. Kaloli says, I would quit my job, move home, take over the family business, and start a non-profit. Quit my job. Well, you could succeed at quitting your job. That part, I'm pretty sure you could pull that off. Moving home, taking over the family business, start a nonprofit. Yeah. So Rebecca says, if I was guaranteed to succeed, I would shoot my shot. If I was guaranteed to succeed, I'd shoot that shot. If I knew it was going in, if I knew the shot was going in, I'd shoot it. I hear you. But you know, there is a way to guarantee that the shot won't go in, is to not shoot it. Then there you have your guarantee. Everybody's gassing back up. It's like, look, let me live my life, y'all. Akaza says, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. I'm possible. Pancake says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Yeah, I'm possible. Also, Kim possible. Everybody can hear gas and backs up. It's like, so J-Man says, if I knew I was guaranteed to succeed, I would end world hunger. You would dare to end world hunger if you knew you were guaranteed to succeed. It's a really altruistic to take care of world hunger And I think sometimes we have to appreciate the fact that our aspirations are valid at any scale. Our aspirations are valid at any scale. So even if we can't cure world hunger, maybe we can take care of someone who is right near us. So we got Noble Ancient here. Welcome in, Noble. Thank you so much for joining us. Miss liked the live. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. So Johnny says, if I knew I was guaranteed to succeed, I would change work every year and succeed in all sectors. So I switch it up. I have a variety of different career paths, so it doesn't get stale. You don't get bored. I can dig that. So I think that what happens is you get a glimpse into what you really value when you ask the question what you are afraid to do because you might fail, right? Shout out to Kalola, just got suited and booted. Appreciate you. Welcome in, Alexis. We're talking about those things that we would dare if we knew it would succeed. So where are we at with that? Miss says, I would turn out as many numbers as I can for work, nonprofit, and become a nurse practitioner. If I knew I was guaranteed to succeed. Would these seem like very doable goals? As many as I can is definitely doable. And the nurse practitioner is a career path that you could definitely continue to work towards. So a lot of times our sense of what's possible, it evolves over time, right? We accumulate some experience, we have some wins, and then from that, we are emboldened to try something new, to try something more significant, something that might have not have felt possible before. We realize that, I think it was Stephen Kotler, the author, he said that impossible is a process. It's like, there's a process that we can go through to bring things into the realm of possibility for ourselves. Reality says that healing people and teaching them how to heal themselves is what I would dare to do. I would dare to be a healer and a teacher. So Puncake says that I would dare to create generational wealth for my future children and their children and so on. So I guess it's a wonder, like, what's the role of a guarantee? What is the role of a guarantee? And yeah, our desire for certainty and our need for certainty is one of the biggest barriers that we have to action. Like, So Noble Ancient says, if I had guaranteed success, I would dare to become a games vendor at San Diego, a booth in Vendors Hall, and even set up tables in specific locations during the event to match. Miss says, we tell ourselves that things aren't possible, so we don't try. So right now we're listening to Empty Sky by Wanderer's Trove from the Epidemic Sounds playlist. So Noble has Comic-Con aspirations. That would be a cool thing. That it seems like that's something to work towards, right? Seems like it. So Alexa says, I would get a table at Comic-Con and sell our books and games there at the place where over 150,000 people populate over a single weekend. Well, it seems like a goal, right? That seems like something to work backwards from. And how do we get it? What is it? How do you table at Comic-Con? What do we need to do? So, Mesmer says, I would become high value. Mezzi's Munchies edible business. Gluten-free, vegan, low glycemic baked goods with punchlines for product names. Weed workshops, delivery service, discounts for disabled veterans. How about that? That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Incorporating several things that are important to you. Comedy and weed. Maybe through, you make the products first, figure out the recipes, and under the influence of those recipes, you can figure out the rest of the plan. So Aunt Capone is watching us over on YouTube. We are live on YouTube and Twitch and LinkedIn right now. So anyone who's watching now, I appreciate you being here. If at any point you want to jump in the conversation, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat and your responses there if you would like to add to. What we're talking about right now is the things that we would dare to do if we were absolutely guaranteed to succeed. So we get a glimpse into the edges of our dreams when we think about, the things that we would try, the path that we would commit to if we knew for sure that it was going to end where we wanted it. And then I guess the question is, if you didn't get all the way there, would it be worthwhile to even, is the journey itself towards those things, having that as a point of orientation? There's a way in which just having that out there can order your days in a more satisfying way. I think we all feel good, we feel better when we are making meaningful progress towards something that's important to us, whether we get there in the time that we intend or whether we get there at all. Just having an order to your day and having something that excites you and energizes you and focuses you in a specific direction every day is a valuable idea. So Nesquik says, I would probably conquer a planet if I knew I was going to succeed. Go ahead and let's take over a whole planet. Let's Take up a whole planet. Someone anonymously says, if I knew I wasn't going to fail, I would be a social media influencer. If I knew that I would succeed, that's what I do. Rebecca raises an interesting question. Which planet? Which planet would you be taking over? Yeah, you got to find one. You got to find an easy one. All right. I appreciate everyone's engagement with that question. Are we going to go to... let's get ready to go to the next one. So I know it's Monday as we are recording this, and a lot of times we have a case of the Mondays where, we feel anxious and not great about the things that we might have to face in our working lives. The weekend is over, we got to get back to the grind or whatever the case may be. So I wanted to include some aspirational prompts to keep you in touch with things that are really important and that energize you. So we're going to go into this prompt that says, when do you feel most alive? Under what circumstances, around what people do you feel most alive? Reality says, I'm on vacation and I'm up way before work. Rebecca says, I feel most alive when I am around creators. When I'm around creators, so being in community with other creative people brings you to life. Okay, I could definitely relate to that and appreciate that. People who get it, right? Not everybody gets it. So when you are around people who get it, it is different. It's good when you can find the others, right? Rebecca says, artsy people get me. It's like, right on. I mean, I spent a huge portion of my life in where I was spending most of my time in the areas that were not inherently populated by creative people, not in a traditional sense. And I had to find an outlet. So I think sometimes we are not situated such that our working life is inhabited by creative people, or our working life may not necessarily engage the creative parts of ourselves. But it's important to have those outlets and have those communities and places that you can go to satisfy that need for connection and that need for expression. Johnny says, I feel most alive when I'm writing alone. This is when I find my true self away from all the people. So Johnny comes alive in solitude. Coming alive in solitude. Sometimes we don't get our fill of me time. We don't have our necessary daily allowance of autonomy, the autonomy that can only come when nothing and no one is requiring your attention in any way. So when do you feel most alive? Noble Ancient says, I feel most alive in a few ways. One being when I am at the table gaming. Another is when I spend time with Alexis, like on a date. And the third is right here in Morning Journal. Obviously. Well, it's great to have those spaces where you, if you're not always on, at least you know where you can go to get on. Man says, well, I'm alive right now, I hope. But when I'm enjoying myself despite pain, laughing when people around me don't judge and encourage, I choose people who practice empathy and have similar goals and interests. Choosing people who have similar goals and interests. And understanding that the pain doesn't have to go away for you to experience joy. One doesn't necessarily crowd out the other. So Miss says that my crush makes me feel alive, but with other organizers doing an action, and man, I always cry at protest. My life is my work. I also feel alive writing and performing poetry. There we go. What makes you feel most alive? Jehovah Thickness has joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope your morning is going okay. Take it a second to consider. There's so many times, there's so much of time that I feel like you might be sleepwalking through life. You're just trying to get through it. So Tim says, I'll say that drunk skating with beautiful, talented people is one time that I feel alive, but the other thing I'll just keep to myself. Yeah, you don't have to tell everybody your business as long as you know. It's really about bringing it to mind for yourself. Sharing it with us is a bonus. So, Jehovah Thickness says, what makes me feel alive is creating dino strippers. Creating dino strippers? I'm curious what that means. What's a dino strippers? That sounds interesting. Alexis says, I feel most alive when I'm cosplaying. I get to be someone else and it feels amazing to be recognized as a character and asked for a picture. It means that they like my work. Yeah. So we had some great responses here. There's still time. We'll take a couple seconds to consider before we go to the next prompt. And as we're thinking about it, I just want to say thanks to everyone once again for joining us for Morning Journal session number 261, amazingly. And also thanks for everyone again for bringing this community back to the ranks for another month, another consecutive month, back into the ranks of choice streamers. We're coming up on a year of consecutive months being choice, which is pretty awesome when you think about it. It's pretty awesome when you think about it. All right. Let's get ready to go into the next prompt. Reality says, I feel alive when I remember that I'm the hero of the story. I feel alive when I remember that I am the hero of the story. Yeah, don't forget, you are the main character here. I'm not going to sing the Mariah Carey thing, but you know. Welcome in, Mo. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're taking a second to acknowledge the things that make us feel alive. If you have something that you would want to add to the chat before you get into your morning routine or the next part of your morning routine, we'd love to see it. Love to see it. Miss, thank you so much for the spoons. I really appreciate the support. We got a nice mixture of coffee and roses and hearts. Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. So let's go to the next prompt. Lately, I've been thinking blank. Lately, I've been thinking blank. And I know that you might be, at this very moment, you might be a little bit emotionally manipulated by the music. I know the music might offer a little bit of emotional, it might make you think about something, but hey, lately I've been thinking blank. So right now, the song that's playing at this very moment is called Steps Behind by Franz Gordon. Johnny says, lately, I've been thinking of stopping overthinking. Lately, I've been thinking of stopping overthinking. Yeah. I'm thinking too much. I think sometimes our recurrent thoughts are that they kind of prompt us, eventually can prompt us into action. If it keeps coming up, it's begging to be addressed in some way or another. Saturn says, lately I've been thinking of not thinking of myself, but to focus my thoughts on others. So that's a different balance to find. when we are too preoccupied with ourselves, sometimes it can be isolating. And when you retreat too deeply into your own mind and occupy yourself too frequently, you can kind of lose touch with things. So everybody's has a different relationship with their degree of selflessness and self-involvement as opposed to our contribution and our connection with others. So Boots is here. The situation is about to escalate, it seems. Welcome in, Boots. Thank you for being here. So Alexa says, lately I've been thinking that today is going to be a long day. I have a 10 to 6 shift and need to get new shirts from wardrobe, so I need to leave by 6 a.m. Been up since 11 yesterday, and if I sleep now, I won't get up in time. Don't you just hate it don't you hate it when you sort of pass the window where real wet rest is possible? And you're like, well, now I might as well just ride it out. That ship has sailed. R.I.P. La situation. So hopefully you'll be able to navigate today. Noble Ancient says, lately I've been thinking about a lot of different things. Invasion Chicago, Breath of the Wild, Alexis, Harley, Morning Journal, My Friends Over Time, My Day's Adventure, and more. So Noble's had a lot on the mind there. So Boots is on the way to work to deliver a baby, I believe was the last thing I heard. My life support is here. Welcome in, Yen. Thank you for being here. Let us know. Lately, I've been thinking Reality says, lately I've been thinking the more I believe in the fact that possibilities are endless, the more opportunities I am able to see. The more I believe in the fact that possibilities are endless, the more opportunities I am able to see. You know, I'm wondering, if it is more opportunities that we actually need to see. Are we at a point where it's not lack of opportunity that's the problem? It's lack of action that's the problem. A lot of times we are seeking opportunities to run away from the ones that are already in front of us. It's like, oh no, we don't need another opportunity. There's one right here. There's something right here at the end of your hand. So true, it is the case that for many people, you're stuck and you need a way out and you need a window or a door to open for you. But for many of us, we're just standing in the threshold of an opportunity that's already available. So we have to be careful not to flee the work that's attached to an opportunity to bring it into reality. So there is that part. I think opportunities are endless. That is true. And it gives us hope when we feel stuck. But sometimes we have to make sure that we are not escaping the task that's required of us by pursuing a new opportunity when there's still work to be done where we are. So there is the caution there. That's the one thing I would caution. All right. Lately I've been thinking. For Miss, it's a string of thoughts. Am I weird? Extra? Why am I tired? What is life? I need to drink water. I want a hug. Why do I talk to my dad? I need to write a book. I need to write. There's so much crazy legislation. DMV trip today. So a whole string of thoughts. Yeah, a whole string of thoughts. Boots says, lately I've been thinking I've been occupied with lots of work. I've been occupied with lots of work. That's what I've been thinking. I think sometimes I know that Boots is on a career path, and this is probably just a season for you, Boots, where, you're going to be a little bit busy. As you are progressing in your career. So this is an opportunity for you to learn a lot of things. So as long as you stay engaged, then you're going to be all right. Rebecca says, lately I've been thinking that I should stop putting things on a pedestal. Should be regular for real. It'd be regular. And I got it up here. Reality's like, I need to find G's YouTube and see if he's wearing a glowing robe. I'm not. I'm usually just wearing a black t-shirt. It's regular for real. All right, let's see here. Yeah, don't put things on a pedestal so much. It's gonna be all right. Tim says, lately I've been thinking I should pursue a career that I enjoy. I should pursue a career that I enjoy. Yeah, if you're gonna spend that much time, maybe you should find some joy in it. Yeah. And that, it's too late thing, that's not true. That's not true. I know I was I know I was in my 30s when I changed careers, so, you can still do it. Mr. Swag 2021 says, I noticed that I've been trying to focus on myself. And how do you feel about that, Mr. Swag? How do you feel about that? So Saturn is on the other end. So, maybe I shouldn't focus on myself. Maybe I should start thinking about other people. And, you're like, I think I noticed that I've been trying to focus on myself. Is that your intention? So reality is asking about my transition in career. So I was in the military, and I was in food service in the military. And when I got out, I was still in that industry to some degree, working food and beverage. And then I moved out. When I got out of the military, I transitioned into communications and sort of creative work. So documentary, filmmaking, and some teaching. So Divine Nesquik says that I've been thinking about how to improve my art, where my flaws are at, and how I can break through my limits. Yeah. That's a great thing to be thinking about if you are committed to growing and improving your skills, looking at, okay, Let me see where I can get better. So, Kamishiro Noah says, I've been thinking I make a company and do my best. I want to make friends with an overseas person. So you want to thinking about expanding your social circle. I guess it's appropriate for me to wear a purple shirt on Friday. I guess I can do that. You know, that would be right for the culture. All right, let's get ready to go to the next prompt. All right. So Mr. Swag is asking what branch of the military. I was in the Army. Can you wear pink on Wednesdays? I don't know where we're getting all these wardrobe requests from. I might be able to. Yeah, I'll need to be reminded, because my default is just to get up, put on a black t-shirt and make it rock. So if you notice, we put a new prompt in the background, and it is blank would be a step forward, blank would be a step back. One of the things that's important to remember, Miss, thank you so much for the spoons. I really appreciate it. Thank you. One thing that we sometimes fail to recognize is when we take a step back, we're actually 2 steps away from where we intended to be, not just 1. So it's important, like, can we understand how devastating it is to take a step back and at the very least try to maintain, you know? Because a step backwards is 2 steps away from where you intended to be. And that distance accumulates. G in a 3-piece, a purple 3-piece. You're gonna have me here looking like Steve Harvey. Don't put me in no colorful suits, man. Make it an 8-piece suit. You got to count the shirt and everything. An 8-piece with the biscuits. Large side. So Saturn says, some self-control would be a step forward and uncontrolled emotions would be a step back. Yeah, having some self-control, that's a step forward. Flying off the handle, that might be a step back, and that can be, yeah, there could be a lot of long-term implications from those steps back. So Alexis says, a step forward would be being responsible and actually saving for our Phoenix trip in September while keeping up with the bills. Back would be getting fired for not being able to fit into the uniform. Wish me luck. I don't know. I think, is that a fireable offense? They should be able to, they should have a uniform that fits. That's not your bad. Noble says, for me, successfully balancing and completing Invasion Chicago would be a step forward. Giving up altogether would be a step back. I would say giving up would be a step back. Yeah. We're not going to do that. We're not giving up. So Boots says, moving on would be a step forward and dwelling on the past would be a step back. Stepping back, dwelling in the past is a step back. Because if you stand still, a lot of times standing still is moving back because everything else is moving around you. Mrs. I just want to be manager again. Oh my goodness. Med says, accepting my feelings that I deeply offended someone with a compliment would be a step forward. Well, hold on. Accepting my feelings that I deeply offended someone with a compliment, not overthinking it or regretting it. I don't know which one is the back and which one is forward. Oh my goodness. And then accepting being embarrassed for them. Okay. Let me see if I can put it all together now. Accepting my feelings that I deeply offended someone with a compliment, not overthinking it or regretting it, accepting being embarrassed for them. Someone anonymously says that putting one step in front of the other would be a step forward, one leg to the back, and the other following it is a step backwards. Right. That is the literal definition. The literal definition. All right. Thanks for that instruction by the numbers. This is exactly how you do it. Break it all the way down. Boots says, are you a part of the Crown Club? What does that mean, Boots? Hey, Connie, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you all for the likes. We were talking about steps forward and steps back. I'll give you an opportunity. Someone anonymously says, to be is a step forward, not to be is a step back. Yeah. Not to be would be a step back. That makes perfect sense to me. Leaving would be a step forward, and leaving would be a step back. That is a profound situation to be in, knowing it feels like it's a no-win situation. If I leave, it's a step forward. If I leave, it would be a step back. So what do you do? How do you make a choice where it's a win and a loss, you know? Miss, thank you so much for the spoons. I appreciate it. Should I stay or should I go now? All right. So, understanding what progress looks like and what regression looks like, it gives us the tools that we need to make good choices. Not that we'll always have the emotional wherewithal to make the good choice, the right choice, the healthy choice every time, but just bringing it into our awareness that what are my intentions? Is this moving me towards what I want, or is it moving me away? And sort of being in that place of uncertainty, like you think it's going to be a step forward. Sometimes the things that we move towards with intention end up not being what we thought they would be. And then we can stop trusting our judgment when the things that we wanted don't bring us what we expected. We can find ourselves in a place that, like, well, why bother? I thought that this would, this was going to be it. I moved towards it, and yet here I still sit. So I'm gonna go to the next background prior to the prompt. I want you to consider this quote. Consider this quote before we get into the next prompt. So those who are not contented with what they have would not be contented with what they would like to have. Those who are not contented with what they have would not be contented with what they would like to have. So it's a conversation, or it's a question about the source of contentment, the things that we pursue. I know we've spent time thinking about possible pursuits, things that we would dare if we knew we couldn't fail, things that bring us to life. If we could have more of that, wouldn't that be cool? But this statement sort of adds a little color, a little nuance to the idea of pursuing things. And I want you to kind of sit with that for a second. And what do you think about this? Does this seem to make sense to you? Does this ring true for you in any way? Has that shown up in your life? And this is just sort of a preliminary to this prompt. And this is the way we're going to address this one. Kind of look back at your life if this is true for you in any way. Of course, remember, you never need to answer any prompt. If it doesn't apply to you, you don't have to answer it. But think about it. This is what happens when you aren't happy with what you got. Someone's husband eventually gets it. So, Mrs., can you share the last one in Discord? Do you mean the quote? Let me know what you need, Miss. So, for sure. So right now, this prompt is, I thought that blank would make me happy, but it didn't. I thought blank would make me happy, but it didn't. This idea sort of leans into the fact that we are such poor predictors of how are we going to feel when we get somewhere. We don't know how we're going to feel. And sometimes the things do make us feel a certain way. They elevate our mood, but that feeling isn't durable. So there is something to the fact that the feeling that you are maybe chasing out there isn't something that you can find in a meaningful way out there. Maybe it's already inside, and if you can connect with it inside, then you'll attract more of it into your experience, just maybe. Someone anonymously says, error 404, love not found. Love not found. Reality says, the house and the car, they didn't make me happy. It just turns out they were just needed to make me realize that happiness is from within. Yeah, happiness comes from within. It's something that we cultivate. Alexa says that I thought being a parent would make me happy, but it didn't. Instead, it became a trauma that I am still trying to heal from. And it's got to be devastating when things go from being something that you thought would make you happy to being the source of trauma and misery or any other number of negative emotions that you can describe. That tension or that dissonance must be excruciating. It's hard to make sense of that. Johnny says, I thought that passing the exam I've been working on will make my life better, but I guess humans are never satisfied. So, yeah, sometimes I know you've been working on that for a while. We celebrated it here with you maybe a couple weeks ago. And now you're back. Your life is back, feeling back normal. That hedonic adaptation is what they call it. That sense of whatever good thing comes into our life, we tend to make it normal. No matter how spectacular it was, eventually it just becomes our life. And we're looking towards the next thing. So adjusting our attitude towards what we're going to feel like, for one, it can take some of the emotional stakes out of it, and we can be more present and finding joy in that process, not for the sake of what it's going to get us, but for the fact that it gives us a direction to go towards. Reality brings up the point that could it be that our disappointment is tied to the vision of what we thought it would be? Sometimes, for sure, because we don't predict things well, our expectations are never matched. And the thing that we are attached to sometimes is not even we're not attached to the achievement or the accomplishment itself. We are attached to our fantasy of what it would be like. The thing that gives us energy is the striving and to having that thing. And when we don't have anything to go for, we thought that we wanted to get there. We think that we want to get there when really what we want is to have somewhere to go. You know, we think that we want to arrive somewhere, but really what we want is to have somewhere to go. And when we don't have anywhere to go, it's like, you know. Rebecca said that eating Gushers for breakfast would make me happy. Nah, I'm still hungry. Not eating Gushers for breakfast. Yeah, maybe not. Noble says, I thought that being a chameleon for everybody else would make me happy, but it didn't. It didn't make me happy to be a chameleon. It's like I felt that in my soul. Yeah. I think that a lot of times we develop that habit as a sort of in adolescence, we kind of develop that habit as a way to fit in. We do it, socially. It's important for us to figure ourselves out. And it's a valid way to kind of learn when we are younger, but eventually we have to come into our own and making that leap and being comfortable enough in who you are to express that consistently. That's a big step of growth that a lot of people have to go through if they ever want to fully be realized. Mez says, I thought that being mean with my words would make me happy. I thought it would make me feel better just to think them up at someone. But I chose to stop thinking the thoughts and just be genuine to my mood, moving the conversation forward. So those zingers, constant zingers running in the back of your mind to amuse yourself rather than being present to your mood and in the conversation. Yeah, I got a zinger for you. We got zingers, we got gushers. Miss says, I thought that getting engaged to be married would make me happy. It was a lie, arch time. It was a lie, arch time. Now I feel like I'm poisoned on the inside. Will I be alone when I die? I can live again and live to love, and I will always try. Let me see if I can read that a little more succinctly. Getting engaged to be married. I thought that would make me happy. I don't know what arch time is either. I think that might be a correction. Maybe Miss can give us a little more context for what that means. I know it can be so tragic too. Yeah, it's tragic. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right. All right, folks. I think that, let's, I think we might be about ready for a recap. Let me go ahead and put up our recap screen. If you still have some more to say, there'll still be an opportunity to say more about this prompt. But we're going to get into our recap now. is calculated by the Linux kernel as the number of seconds since midnight started. All right. Now it's an opportunity for us to do a quick recap and then get our key takeaways for today's session. So I'll open up a request box for anyone who would like to share what is a key takeaway that you got from today. So we talked about the things that made us feel alive and the things that we would dare to do if we knew that we would succeed. I think looking to feeling more alive and being more alive in our day-to-day experience is more valuable than trying to hang our happiness on a single thing. You know, it's a way of being in the day-to-day that makes the most difference. We have our deeper desires revealed to us by the things that we would dare to do if we were not afraid. Fear is such a thief of life and joy. So thinking about the things that fear stand in the way of for you can be a useful guide to how you want to orient your days. We talked about the thoughts that have been dominating our mind and our assessment of ourselves, what progress looks like and what falling back looks like. So right now we are at the point of the key takeaways. For those who are watching and listening elsewhere, thank you so much for your time and attention. You can drop what you've taken away from the session in the comments below, and we'll be back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for Morning Journal session number 262. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. We got a little VIP time for the listeners over on Spoon. If you want to get with that, you can find the links in the description to join us for the entire session each and every day and get what you might have missed. All right.